Well, thanks everyone for joining me today. This is your host, ID Jester. Welcome to Blackguards by Daedalic Entertainment. For those of you who don't know what Blackguards is, it's a game that's kind of been under the radar for a little bit, but basically it's a very dark fantasy RPG action role-playing game that has got turn-based combat. It's actually based upon a actual RPG paper and board game called the Dark Eye is the name of the system, and it uses that system for all of its character creation and combat and everything. And I had never heard of it. I think it's more of a European thing because a lot of the videos are in German on the YouTube channel. A lot of the information is just Daedalic, I think, is also a European company. So it must be kind of a popular system over in Europe. I had never heard of the Dark Eye, but I've been kind of watching this. I had actually thought about picking up Blackguards when it was on early release on Steam, but I never got around to doing it. And then it was released, and then it was full price, and so I just picked this up on the Steam Super Summer Sale. And I picked it up for, I think it was like $13.50 or something. It was 60% off. And it's a turn-based RPG, tactical fantasy, dark fantasy game. And from what I understand, it's it's got some pretty dark aspects to the system and the stories and all that. I've actually played a couple episodes, but I did such a horrible job of explaining things and just messing things up with my characters. I actually had one part where I ended up going in an adventure, and one of my characters didn't have arrows on their bow, so they couldn't use their bow, and the other character had didn't have any weapons at all. So it was basically one person on our team versus all the other enemies, and I wasn't understanding how to do some of the combat, casting the spells, and so I was restarting it basically so that way. I've only been maybe an hour or so into the game, and decided to restart it over and try to do a better job of showing you what Blackguards is. So let's go ahead and get into it and take a look. We are actually going to start a new game here. And this is interesting. You can either use the basic mode or the expert mode. If you use the basic mode, you will see that you can create either a warrior, a mage, or a hunter. And your warrior is your fighter guy, your mage is your spellcaster, and your hunter is kind of like your ranged character, and male and female. And that's basically the only choices you get other than adding a name. If you choose, if you choose to go in expert mode, you can actually go in and create everything from scratch. You can go in and adjust all of its stat points and everything. I'm not going to do that because I don't know enough about the system. In fact, it even gives you a little message warning that if you're not familiar with the system, and you just want to put in points willy-nilly, you can end up creating a character that just doesn't work very well. So we're just going to create a new with the basic character there, and we're going to create a female hunter, and so we get a few options of what she looks like. Sure, and female hunter, we'll enter her name, Black Sky, and here's going to be her abilities. So basically, most everything in the game revolves around your core abilities, which are courage, cleverness, intuition, charisma, dexterity, agility, constitution, and strength. And to do certain things, to learn certain abilities, to upgrade different talents, it's going to use 3 of these stats, like say charisma, dexterity, agility. And you need to have a certain number of, you have to have, say, a 9 or higher charisma, and a 10 or higher dexterity, and a 10 or higher agility. And then based on how well your stats are, is basically how well you perform that different talent or ability. It's quite intuitive once you get into it, and we are going to look at it more in depth as we go along here. But it is a pretty neat little tactical game. It's mostly a lot of tactical depth here. Alright, so I'm actually going to try and skip through all these cut screens there. Alright, and I'm going to turn off the tutorials if I can. Menu. Options, we're going to turn off the tutorials. Okay, there we go. Alright, so let's go back and continue. Alright, thank you. So you can see our character here. Down in the bottom left hand corner is the initiative order, so it's going to go me and then the enemy. And basically the backstory is we're traveling around with the princess here. She gets attacked by this wolf and killed, and now the wolf is trying to eat her face. So if you've been watching any of our Age of Wonders, this kind of tactical board looks kind of familiar. It's a slightly different system in that you can see the highlighted spaces here are areas that I can move into and still have another action to do something. These other lighter areas are spaces I can move into, but I would not be able to perform any kind of other action. So what we're going to do is we're going to move back. We'll move back one space. We just click on it to move there, and then you can see we can still target our enemy. You can see it has a certain percentage chance of doing a hit. I believe the highest number you can ever get is 95%. And then we will target our enemy and just shoot at it. And we did 10 points of damage. Up here is the battle log. It's going to tell you everything about it. You can see the wolf here has 1 wound, which is important here. It has a -2 to its attack, -2 to its parry, -2 to its dodge, and etc. etc. So in this game, in this combat system, every character can parry if they have a weapon in their hand that's able to parry. And if you can't parry, then dodge automatically comes into play. You can only parry 1 character per turn. It gives you a special bonus to your defense. And but dodge, you can do dodge as many times as you want. You can see we only have a 65% chance. Now the reason we had a 90% chance over there and only a 65% chance over here, it's kind of hard to show you right now, and this I can actually get into. This we can. Each weapon here, you can see our bow here, has an initiative and a ranged attack, a damage bonus. But the most important thing about these weapons is they have a typical range, or a normal range. Anything inside that range or outside that range gives you a penalty to your attack. So when we were here and we were shooting at that wolf, he was about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces away, maybe 7 spaces away. Not only is only 2 spaces away, you can see we have a much greater chance of or less chance of attacking. So we're going to move back a space, try to get back, and I guess it didn't matter. All in all, we ended up killing the wolf. All right. So I'm going to cut through this thing again. Basically, what happens is we're just going to skip it. The other people find you with the body, and they assume that you killed her, so they throw you in prison. And now it's time for. And so basically, these guys come in to kind of interrogate you and find out, and they're asking her a bunch of questions she doesn't understand. She doesn't remember what happened. And so we start here in the prison, and we're trying to get away. And she's just questioning herself whether or not what happened and how did the princess die. And we find out that there is another dwarf in here with us, and the jailer comes in. So we now have 2 characters on our team. One is Niram, the dwarven fighter. So what we're going to do is we're going to use him as well as our main character. And you can see that he's got the same thing. Now you can see he's highlighted because it's his turn to go. You can also see that down here in the initiative. If we look at our character, you will notice his initiative number is 11 here. And then you basically roll a 6-sided dice and add that to your initiative to determine initiative order. Obviously, that's all done by the computer in the background. So now we have a choice about what we want to do. Do we want this guy to come in? Or do we want to like run right up next to him? But of course we won't get any other attacks. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this dwarf, tough dwarf, who's got 45 hit points, and we only have 35 hit points. So we're going to bring him up front, and we're going to position him right there. And you'll notice that if I right click him, he has a radial that has a bunch of different things that he can do. One of the things he can do is attack. He can do a regular attack, or he can do a power blow, which is going to add 5 points of damage to him. So what we're going to try to do is wait and use the rest of his order later. It's now our turn. We will move, oops, we won't right click, we will left click, and we'll move him behind the dwarf, and then we are going to wait as well and see what the guard comes in. He comes next to the dwarf. Now the dwarf should have a good attack. So one of the things I was doing kind of inaccurately first time was I was actually like, okay, I'm going to right click the radial menu over the dwarf and get his abilities, but that's not necessarily the case in what you need to do. The dwarf, the combat system and the engine running this game actually knows, okay, well, if I've got the highlight the dwarf, it's the dwarf's turn, and if I oh, by the way, you can move your camera around, obviously. It's not stuck in one location. If I right click on this guy's space and I go to power blow, the dwarf will move over adjacent to him and power blow him. So since he's adjacent, he'll just try to do a power blow. Alright. And notice it's now Black Sky's turn. I can either decide to have her move up and see if she can do some damage, so we will move her there. And you notice when I right click, she doesn't have that power blow because she doesn't have that skill. Thing she does have is perception. She's got that's about it. So we're just going to do a normal attack on this guy right there. 3 points of damage. Alright, so it's back to the dwarf. We're going to right click. We're going to power blow. He does have a slightly lower chance of doing an attack anytime you do a special attack. But of course, to get that extra 5 damage, it might be worth it. And you can only use this power blow with certain weapons, which we'll show you when we get out of combat here. Alright, so we're just trying to beat down this guard here. And we've got
He doesn't have too much to carry on his way to the realm of the dead. Here are the keys.
Alright, so we got the keys to get out.
You mean like...
Alright, so we're just gonna bypass this here a little bit. Basically, he tells her he's in prison because he wanted to protect everyone from the dragon. And she questions him about that. And we find a few things on this guy. A shabby belt, potion, and some gloves. So, of course, as any good RPG game, there's lots of loot. And, of course, you will notice 25 AP. AP stands for action points. I believe it's action points. We got 2 ducats and 9 silver. I guess this is like gold, silver, and copper. And we're going to take everything. And of course we find this other guy in here that tells us that he's innocent and that he's a good guy and there's nothing wrong with him, blah blah blah. Now, this is one of the most important things is you can see our location here. We can just travel to this location, we can travel to this location, wherever we want to do. But before you do this, and this is very important if you decide to pick up this game, you want to go in, hit your I key to make sure you equip all your items on your characters. So since the dwarf is going to be up front, we're going to give him a belt, and we just simply click and drag things over there. We're going to give him the health potion because he's going to take the most damage. We're going to give him the gloves, and we're going to give him... What kind of pants does he own currently? If we take your pants off, leather. Okay, so the same thing as what we currently have. And of course, we go to the next character here. What kind of pants do you have? Pants, robe pants. Okay. We'll leave your robes on. And what kind of pants do you have? Leather. Okay. So we'll leave your things on. We will, of course, give him a torch. You can see each character can have 3 different weapon sets, which you can switch to. It does take a full round to switch to those. And he's got this metallic thing on his neck because metal is bad for mages. Only mages can cast spells, so as long as they have metal on them, they're going to get a severe penalty to any kind of magic casting. And magic in this game either works or doesn't work. You, depending on the spell and the spell level, and based on your stats, the spell either goes off or it doesn't go off. So you want to make sure you get all your characters equipped with all their items. You want to make sure that the weapon sets are chosen properly, because if you're on weapon set 2, that's what your guy will go in as, weapon set 2, and you have to spend a full round action switching over to weapon set 1. So you want to do all this character manipulation in between between when you walk to different locations. Now if you're going to hit your I key, nope, hit our C key, there we go. This is going to bring up our character sheet. And this game is, and this gaming system is pretty in-depth. But basically, here's what I talked about in the beginning. These are all your base stats. And you can see this is going to cost us 12 points to increase. Our current intuition is 12. It's going to cost us 350 action points to take it to the next level. As you can see, these are quite costly. So the base values is everything that kind of think of like Dungeons and Dragons is your strength, dexterity, constitution, charisma, intelligence, and whatever else there was there. Your weapon talents, any character can use any kind of weapon. So if you want your big fighters using crossbows and bows, that's fine. Or axes, fencing weapons, you can even have your mages use all kinds of weapons. So anybody's, it's very open system, so anybody can basically do anything. The only restriction pretty much that I found is your magic users will have are the only people that can cast spells, the mage, so you have to be a mage class. And the other restriction that I found, or that's built into the system, is if these guys are wearing metal, they will have a severe penalty to having their spells successfully cast. So their weapon talents, again, if I wanted my mage up front, you could equip him with two-handed swords, that's fine. Talents are like special abilities that you're going to kind of give your characters here. And you can see the body control here. It prevents yourself from falling down, knockdowns, and negative conditions. And you can see that it's based on your 3 attributes: courage, intuition, and agility, which are up here. And of course, you can have multiple levels in them. And it only costs 6 action points. So we could upgrade this guy's body control, so it would prevent him from being knocked down in negative environmental conditions. Yeah, well, we'll think about that. Alright, so we'll go to Black Sky here. Our character who has 75 points. So what does she have? She currently has 4 points already in body control, 2 points in willpower, 5 in survival, 4 in traps, 5 in animal lore, and 2 in treat wounds. And again, this is points that the computer built into my character because of the basic information character creation that I did. If you choose the extended, advanced character creation, this is stuff. These are all points that you would put into there. And you can see we have 75 action points. In fact, if we go back to our weapon talents, we currently have 5 points in throwing weapons, 4 points in spears, 5 points in axes and maces, 6 in daggers. We have 8 in bows, which is really nice, but we don't have enough to increase that ability at all. And of course spells. We have no abilities to cast spells, but if we go back to Zuberon here, you will notice he does have the ability to cast spells because he's a mage. And of course, lastly, but not leastly, is special abilities that you can also get. There are 4 different kinds. There's melee, ranged, magic, and passive. Right now he has the range spell 1, so the range of spells increases by 1 field. And of course, astral regeneration 1. The hero regenerates a small number of astral points in every turn. Astral points, think of them as your magic points. So I have basically, you know, a certain number of magic points or astral points to spend on my spells. And obviously, like I mentioned, you want to do all of this in between going to the next episode. Not only that, which is important, but you will notice that underneath each of the different weapons, you have a slider, except for ranged weapons do not have a slider. All the other items will have a slider, and basically you can adjust your points into offensive and defensive capabilities however you want. So if you want to go all offensive, you can have a 7 attack and a 2 defense. Now the defense is going to be basically your parry chance to parry with that weapon, and you can see that as we move it up and down, we can have a 7 defense, we can parry really well, but maybe only a 2 attacks. You can adjust how aggressive you are with your different weapon sets with the sliders. Of course, we're just talking about the melee weapons. Ranged weapons, you will notice, don't have a slider. So we do have 31 points in this, but I'm not sure what weapons we're going to pick up yet, so I don't know what to focus in on. So we're basically still trying to break out of the prison. We want to make sure, like I said, we want to make sure all of our weapon sets are chosen to our torches. Right now we have all of our items equipped, and then we will travel. If you don't do it this way, you will find yourself going to a location and going, oh no. Okay, so we're in here, we're looking for some stuff, and we get jumped by some guards. Now, this game is very cool in the combat system. Not only is it very in-depth and everything, as you can see, but you have environmental objects that you can adjust and move and do everything. If I have my V key, V as in Victor, down, you will see that things that are changeable are on the screen highlighted in red. So you can see that we have Zeviram here, who can walk up to the table and smash it. Now he starts that table on fire, so anybody that moves into that hex will start on fire. More importantly, we have our little dwarf here who can then click on the chandelier and have the chandelier come down and knock the guards down. Next thing is we will move our character over here next to this chest here, and we'll be done with her. So now the last guard comes in. He's going to attack. Nope, he doesn't have time to attack. We're going to go ahead and move this guy over here. Do the same thing to this side of the table. Alright. And we're going to have our dwarf do his power blow against this guy. Nice damage. Now, can you do something with this stuff? Looks like there's something there. I don't know how to adjust my camera. Let's go into our options really quickly here, folks, and see if they're controls. Alright. Camera angle is the mouse wheel. Open the ring menu, standard actions, space, highlights, character, okay, world, towns, merchants, character sheet. I don't see anything to adjust. You can adjust the wheel mouse. Okay, let's go back. Continue. Okay, there we go. Oh, we can go up high, and obviously we can move it up and down. I can't interact with that object. I want to open the chest, but I guess there is no chest opening on this map. So we'll come over this. Oh, not right click, left click there. All right, there we go. We're gonna come over there and get in behind that guy, and we don't have enough action points to do anything. All right. So we can actually, now this is one of the things I was doing wrong, since it's Zabarum here. I was right clicking to cast his spells, but he's got the collar on, so he can't cast any spells. So we'll just have him walk over here. Oh, not through the fire. I guess I should have thought about that. And try to hit him. Yep, we did it. Alright, and you try and hit him. And you try to hit him. And we win. Yay for us. Alright, some more action points, a little bit more money, and we got us a lot of items. Take nothing. No, I don't think so. We'll take it all.
The key to
Now,
the door.
And the one to my iron collar? Excellent. Here I was thinking.
Alright, so we can now cast spells. So again, before we travel, we want to make sure that we equip all of our characters with all the items. Shoes gives us armor rating +1, encumbrance of -1. Alright, well, put on some shoes. We're going to give you a leather shield. And is that everything? That is everything. So we go to the next character here. We'll give you some clothes to put on and some shoes. And that will be it for you. And lastly, but not least, we'll give her some clothes and some shoes. More importantly, we will give her a bow with some arrows. You must have arrows to shoot. And we're going to choose weapon set 2 as our default. We can always switch back to that if we run out of arrows. Alright, so we've got all of our equipment done. Now, do we want to upgrade our character? She's up to 100 action points. Again, you can see these are quite costly to upgrade them, but they give you a pretty good bonus throughout the rest of the game, because your other weapon talents, your spells, and your special abilities will be based upon how well you are in all of this stuff. Vitality gives us health. So, I think we should put a point into health. And you notice it went from 16 to put 1 point in, all the way up to 35 to put a second point in. And we only went up 1 point. No, let's cancel those changes. So, that's... Again, I'm not sure what kind of weapons we're going to come across. She does have a bow now. So we could increase her bow capabilities. And I'm going to hopefully focus her on traps and ranged combat. So I am going to put a point into her bow. And she's only got 15 points left. We will confirm that. Let's see what kind of special abilities he has. He's got the power blow. He's got the vigilance. The hero is better able to understand the situation of the battlefield and take a better position on the enemy. Enemies suffer a penalty to attack of opportunities when the hero moves past them. Armor use. The hero is accustomed to wearing armor and will no longer be as heavily encumbered. And the hero is used to fighting with a shield and receives an attack bonus of 1 as long as the shield is equipped. Oh, good. Well, we did a good thing by giving him a shield then. Obviously no spells. Body control. He's got 5 points in it. Willpower is small chance to ignore wound modifiers and to reduce the duration of level 1 enchantments by 50%. He's going to be up front, so they're going to be casting a lot of spells and doing nasty things with him. So we put a 14 points into Will. That sounds like a good option, actually. And treat wounds. Heals 5 vitality points of an injured character. Heals up to 3 wounds. Yeah, let's cancel. Let's cancel that. Let's cancel. Okay, she doesn't have enough. He does. We're not going to be really using him to treat other people's wounds. He's going to be our frontline fighter. He would be better if he can't cast spells or anything, but it costs 40 action points. So I think what we're going to do is we're actually going to 50 points to upgrade your body control. So you can see to go up to level 2, we need to have 8 points in it. A good chance to resist knockdowns and negative environmental. So we need 8 points to go up to level 2. Willpower, again, I think it's always 0, 8, 13, and 18, I believe. Yeah, so there's 4 levels and everything. 0, 8, 13, and 18 are your base numbers. So 5 to 6 or 1 to 2. I think we'll put a point into that. We'll confirm that. And we're going to put a point into his vitality as well. We will confirm. Alright, so we've got everybody upgraded. Notice he's taking some damage there from running through the fire. Ugh. So we're going to have to keep him in the back. Alright, so we can continue right out, or yeah, we can't actually go back to these locations, so we can go to the cells. So we will go to the cells, and it'll bring us to a new location.
More guards. So much for escaping.
Wait. I know how to stop them.
Alright, he knows how to stop them. Great. So we will cast a spell here. It's going to be his protection spell, level 2, arcane wall. Creates an invisible, impenetrable wall for 3 turns. So we're going to click on that spot and that spot. There we go. Excellent.
The cells. Open the cell doors.
Yes. Good idea. Why don't you do that, lady? Let's see. You are here, so go there and unlock the cell. Let's see. You can make it all the way here. Might as well move you as far as you can. And unlock the cell door. Hopefully we can get this done before the guards decide to come in. You can't quite make it all the way over there this turn. Actually, come here then. And I'll have her come here. And to this lever. Okay, these guys are all lining up over there. Alright, dwarf, you come here. Undo this lever. Uh-oh. These guys are getting angsty to get in. Alright, and you...
Enough of this. Let's get out of here.
Alright. So we created a barrier. You can see how interactive things happen. 25 loot. Or 25 AP, I'm sorry. And,
So, what's this name? The name Amber Glasses was asking you about.
Alright, so basically these guys, like I said, I'm going to... we're just going to evade through all this here. Because I don't want to ruin the story, but I'll just give you kind of a basic overview of what's happening here. We're headed off to... back to the city to confront people and find out. Oh. Okay, now we're having like a little...
I don't know, is it...
That's not...
We're having like a little flashback 5 weeks ago. Okay, accept the duel, let's go. Alright, so basically this is just a tutorial to show you how the environment works. You can see all the water here on the ground. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to move over here, and then we're going to go here, and we're going to end our turn. This guy's going to try and walk in there, and he's going to fall down like a dumbass. And then we're going to move this hex first. And then, oh my gosh, then when characters are down, oh, I didn't get it. Alright, yes. So it's basically just a flashback of us having a fight with this guy. See if he falls down again. Okay, and return. Oh yeah, he fell down. So now we just beat him up while he's down. You have a 100% chance to hit while characters are on the ground. When they're prone, I think your base is. There we go. So it's the first one to get 5 hits. We got 4 on him. Oh, he blocked that one. Oh, now he's catching us. We could have him. There it is. We got all 5. Yeah. So that's just like a little side tutorial I'll show you. Alright, so then these girls are talking, yada yada yada, and we're back at camp. Now we're headed off to the world map. So the world map here, you can see us here, and we can click on our locations to try and travel to them. Obviously right now we only have the one. We're going to do that next episode, folks. So thanks so much for joining us today for some Blackguards tactical fantasy role-playing adventure game. Basically a lot of tactical combat and really fun intuitive system. The Dark Eye, lots of character options, and lots of replayability, I think, just by being able to do different things and build characters different ways. So it should be interesting. So thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in episode 2.